This video is brought to you by Keeps. To many people, animation is a joke. They see it not as an artistic medium, but simply as a genre, and one that is looked down upon for lacking maturity. It's for kids. Adults don't really watch this stuff, right? Yet adult animation is a thing, and features some of the most iconic and beloved characters of all time. The Simpsons, South Park, and King of the Hill, to name a few. Unfortunately, these shows seem to be an exception, because for every single successful adult cartoon out there, you will find 10 failures that completely sucked. You know what I'm talking about. The shows that were developed by a soulless corporate boardroom, where they watched 5 minutes of a successful property and thought that they too could do the same. And on a budget, no less. Social and political satire, visually simple and reliant on edgy characters and writing. And of course, for good measure, a sitcom. Boom. We got ourselves an adult animated show trademarked. It's like a cookie-cutter printing press that just perpetuates this uninspired stereotype. And folks, I recently bore witness to one of the most catastrophic offenders of this devious act. A cartoon that is so terrible, so excruciating, so painful to watch that I had to pause the show just to allow my brain a chance to protect the remaining brain cells that I have left. Yes, folks, all 2 of them. I present to you all Comedy Central's newest cartoon, Fairview.
We're not dumbasses, Beef. We're different.
What do you mean?
We're total fucking idiot assholes.
I don't think I've ever recoiled while watching a cartoon before. Like, I physically pulled myself away from the screen and threw my headphones across the room. Okay, that might be an exaggeration. It was like 2 feet or so, but the point remains. Fairview genuinely has the worst audio mixing I've ever heard from a network show in my life. The levels are messed up. There's constant clipping because the voice actors were shouting. And I don't think that any of these people know what a pop filter is.
The only thing this party is missing is football.
Don't take it personally.
You like pooping, dumping.
I guess so.
It's just Peter, peep, throughout the entire show. It is such a mess. And that is just the audio. The animation? Ooh, it's bad. It's like they wanted to design characters that look like they're from Archer, but then they gave up from the neck down and decided that channeling the energy of weebles would be enough. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But the most insulting element about this show to me are the characters and the writing that accompanies them. None of them have any substance to them at all. It's just a constant barrage of screaming and characters mentioning topical events without having any true commentary about said events. Hey guys, COVID, am I right? That's a thing we're all experiencing and frustrated with. Oh my God, wow. Such bold and compelling storytelling. Do go on. Don't go on. Ultimately, and to bring this back to my point about adult animation, Fairview is a cartoon that is an ideal example of how so many entertainment industry people just do not care about adult animation. As long as the show is loud and obnoxious and you have the right name on it, then that is good enough apparently. Oh, Stephen Colbert? Oh no, dude, you're better than this, I think. You were on Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. You were great as Phil on there. What are you doing on that? You're not even in this show. You're producing it? Oh, Steven. Talk about a fall from grace.
Mind laying down so I can take a poop on you?
Ha
Before I begin, I need to address the elephant in the room. When it comes to criticizing content, it helps to watch said content, so one could have an informed opinion. As of the time of recording this video, only 1 episode of Fairview has been released. That being said, I've already seen enough. There's actually an episode being released the evening of me recording this video, and I will check it out. Maybe there's some redemption arc here, but I highly doubt it. And if you do think I'm being hasty, go watch it yourself. Watch it. Just 5 minutes, and you will completely understand where I'm coming from. Okay, let's continue. Fairview is the result of a new adult animated push from VIACOMCBS in an effort to make content to fuel the flames of the streaming wars. Now, they're a bit late to the streaming competition, so they're currently scrambling to evaluate the content and properties that they own and how to reboot said content as incentives for their streaming platform, i.e. the Beavis and Butthead revival or the Daria spinoff, because apparently people asked for that. But there seems to be a particular interest from ViacomCBS on the adult animation front. According to this article from Deadline, and by the way, this quote comes from Nina Diaz, an executive from Viacom who has like 7 different titles and positions apparently. She says, quote, "As we continue to double down on adult animation, we couldn't be more thrilled to bring Fairview and Washingtonia to Comedy Central, in partnership with Steven and our friends at CBS Studios. These 2 irreverent satires fit squarely into the Comedy Central brand. Hilarious, sophisticated, and of course, with politics at the center of it all." End quote. By the way, Viacom owns a bunch of subsidiary companies like Comedy Central, MTV, and Nickelodeon, to name a few. But to go back to that quote, what? Okay, so we have a few things we have to unpack here. First off, sophisticated? Really? I guess Nina here is the kind of person who thinks that Panera Bread is fine dining. You know, wait till she discovers Longhorns, it'll blow her mind. But my true fascination comes from this notion that all an adult animated show really needs in order to be aired is 1. Channel the energy of an already proven formula, i.e. South Park, and 2. Have the right people attached to it. Now, I know that this isn't an absolute, and I also want to acknowledge that things have been improving in some regards for adult animation, and I will talk about that later on in the video. But this cookie-cutter formula still continues for adult animation, and it's because many network executives don't respect the medium of animation, nor do they think very highly of their audience. Fairview is a perfect example of that problem. I genuinely don't know if the executives at Viacom think that Fairview is just like South Park in merit, because it's absolutely not. In my opinion, it's much more likely that they don't understand why something like South Park has endured for so many years, and instead chalk it up to the irreverent social commentary with cheap animation. That has to be it, right? I mean, it hit all the checkboxes. It couldn't possibly be the characters or the genuine writing that goes into the show. I'll smack you, you stupid executive. And the audacity to air Fairview in proximity with a new season of South Park. I mean, I get it from a marketing point of view, but it is insulting. Comedy Central is like, oh man, if you like South Park, you'll definitely like this. No, I don't. And thank God that many others feel the same way that I do. I actually went through Twitter, reading through the replies for this promotion of Fairview on my newsfeed, and so many other people are in agreement with me, thank God. By the way, fun fact, and I forgot to mention this in the script, Trevor Noah, the guy from Daily Show, and I wish I screen capped this, I replied to the Fairview tweet where I'm like, this looks terrible. And I guess he must have clicked on the tweet chain with the replies and he accidentally favorited my tweet. I don't know why that's funny to me. It's like he misclicked my tweet. I should have screen capped it, damn it. That would have been a fine moment. Okay, whatever. Apologies for the tangents in general, folks. I'm all over the place, and the topic of adult animation is very near and dear to me. All right, let's get back to the origin of the show. So Fairview was created by R.J. Fried, who is also a producer, writer, and voice actor for the show. As I mentioned before, Stephen Colbert is a producer, I guess, some kind of creative consultant for Fairview. And Fried here has worked with Colbert before on other cartoons such as Stephen Colbert Presents Tuning Out the News and Our Cartoon President. Needless to say, Fried has hitched his wagon to Colbert's successful career and all the political satire that comes along with it. Now, I understand that there is a market for this kind of stuff, but it's not for me. I'm just so numb to political cartoons in general, as the majority of them aren't really even saying anything. They just acknowledge stuff in like the most annoying way possible. Like, I watched 5 minutes of this other new cartoon from Colbert called like Washingtonia, and it has to do with this like demon goat who works behind the scenes in DC and how he's trying to stop Joe Biden's liberal agenda? Ah! I can't take it. I literally can't take it. It is just garbage in its purest form. You know, actually, if you want to watch a show that dunks on the political system, but in a way that's actually kind of fun, go watch Inside Job. It jokes about the political parties of America, all the conspiracies across the world, but in a way where the characters are fun, engaging, good jokes. I recommend it. It's much better than this stuff. So yeah, Fairview is just another addition to the pile of trash that is manufactured by studios who don't respect adult animation. Now, I have to catch myself and try to see this from the point of view of the people who made it. We live in a day and age now where my stupid videos might actually be watched by folks who make the respective movies and shows I comment on. And I have to ask myself, what was their objective? Did RJ Fried have some burning desire to tell this story? Am I missing something here? Or was Fairview just for the sake of satisfying a quota from Viacom and encouraging stockholders that efforts are being made to continue the profitability of Viacom and all of its subsidiaries? I don't know, but regardless of the motives, the results are all the same. It's a very bad show, and I'm going to bring you down into the depths of hell to tell you why. So what is Fairview about? Hold on, let me read this official synopsis from this article. The hyper-topical Fairview looks at how national politics causes wild small-town drama and the natty light chugging, grocery store parking lot fighting, public urinating town of Fairview through the lens of its sloppy party girl turned pragmatic mayor, Kelly Sampson. Oh my God, this premise. I'll comment more about it in a moment, all right? Hold on. So like I said earlier, only one episode of this show has been released at the time of writing and recording this video. But I've watched said episode 3 times. It's called COVID Party. Wow, how original. I'm gonna have to read the official synopsis from Comedy Central because, despite watching this episode 3 times, my brain suffered memory loss. Mayor Kelly fights through the bummer of a major COVID-19 surge by hosting the ultimate football watch party. And Beef gets into hot water when his mom catches him messing with vaccines. Okay, so off the bat, none of these characters are endearing whatsoever, to the point where I couldn't even remember anyone's name. Not even a joke. It doesn't help that they all look so similar too. There's the mayor, a people pleaser who wishes for her old party days. There's the family, a screaming mom, screaming dad, and son who is distinguished by his son status because he wears a video game headset for gaming, because young boys play video games. There's this Amazon factory owner who talks like an Alexa. Some assistant at the mayor's office who's a guy, another assistant at the mayor's office who's a girl, this old couple who's obsessed with Dr. Fauci, and then a guy who runs a funeral home and is obsessed too, but in his own separate way of pooping around town. God, give me the strength. So yeah, the episode is about Mayor Kelly allowing parties, and this one guy who gets sick throughout the entire episode and is in denial about it and just wants to continue to throw more parties. And then this son character called Beef who is getting yelled at by his backwards mom and that his friend is vaccinated and that he shouldn't hang out with him, you know, more or less. The entire story, the dialogue, all of it feels like it was generated by an algorithm. Like, I know that was the plot from Space Jam 2, but I'm actually starting to question if this is a thing. Does it exist? It probably does. Fairview is just 22 minutes of literal screaming from unlikable characters with terrible microphones as they spew out social commentary in the most unimaginative way possible. It's like a megaphone shouting, COVID, cancel party, politics, over and over again. I looked into it, and there was an interview that said that the show was recorded via a Zoom call. By their own admission, they say this. I was like, no, there's no way that they used that audio. Please, right? Right? Please tell me that they had separate mics recording via a program so they can mix it all together and balance it, and that they have microphones that are consistent with a standard, and that there's a pop filter. there's none of it. There are people recording it with like a headset. I guess just like the sun, right? It is insanely unprofessional. I get it, all right? COVID's a thing. It's hard to get in person and record these things, but I'm pretty sure your multi-billion-dollar network can afford some microphones to send your way with acoustic foam and a pop filter. There are YouTube channels with better quality assurance than Comedy Central. Think about that. Outside of the characters and writing, the visuals leave a lot to be desired. I don't like the detailed faces on the simple bodies. That doesn't work for me. And Lord knows that the writing for the show can't carry the rest. The shapes remind me of the nudes from Cartoon Network back in the day, or of the character designs from Lucy, the daughter of the devil. Here's the cool thing about animation, all right? It's that simple designs can work, as long as the concept is strong. Aqua Teen, C-Lab 2021, Home Movies, South Park. These are good examples, but all of these examples have strong writing and are actually funny, while Fairview isn't. Also, I saw multiple animation errors, clipping through the car, and then this one mask that was like from a stock image. They actually masked out a mask. What? All right, so let's go back to the premise of Fairview, because I have a thought or two about that. The entire "look how stupid this town is, lol," like that approach comes across as mean-spirited to me, which is like, I know, intentional, and that a lot of shows do that, but in order to accomplish that, you need to be working with some other kind of material to hold up the rest of the show. Whether it be something like Sunny, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Those characters are awful. They're so mean-spirited and terrible people, but to the degree where it's absurd, and that works. It's funny. You wanna know why? Because the characters are likable. Not in Fairview. It's even hard to distinguish them. Like, the entire premise of Fairview reeks of a superiority complex to me. That the writers are punching down with zero substance. South Park can make this work because it's so absurd, but also has compelling characters and writing to keep people invested. The creators of South Park are also from Colorado, so they know a thing or two about the place. But for Fairview, it feels more disconnected and spiteful, or at least in my own opinion. That's the take I get from it. I can't find anything redeeming or fun or interesting about any of these characters. Now, I believe in artistic freedom, and nothing should be completely off limits. But that also means that the more daring a topic could be, the more nuance is required to make it work. King of the Hill works because the characters are grounded and are a genuine reflection of the culture of Texas. Since they're established, you can work with that foundation. And that's why Hank being brought out of his comfort zone is so entertaining. Yet we, as an audience, know his defined character and how he has the ability to grow and overcome his bias. God, I love King of the Hill. Such a good show. Fairview is the uncomfortable antithesis of that. It's hostile, it's loud, and it looks cheap. Because it is. Just superficial garbage that will most likely be a tax write-off for Viacom, and yet another reminder about the stigma people carry for adult animation. In conclusion, Fairview should be seen for what it is, the side of the adult animation spectrum that holds no value, no character, no substance, no conviction. It is a product, a bad one at that. Even if you're a person who enjoys this kind of content, which is totally fine, you cannot deny that this production was done poorly and with very little care. Aqua Teen can get away with looking shoddy because that was deliberate and is part of the charm of the show. It amplifies the crass behavior and interactions of the characters, and how Master Shake is a lovable bastard. What y'all do in my freaking car? But I encourage you all to take heart. As I said earlier, adult animation is improving. Arcane, Primal, Inside Job, Smiling Friends. I think the streaming wars are forcing companies to embrace artists with bold visions in order for their content to stand out from the competition. That being said, we're also seeing a surge of reboots and revivals of old properties. So it's a bit of column A, a bit of column B. But hey, At least we're getting something new and refreshing. And I think that trend will continue for the duration of the 2020s. Lord knows we need something to look forward to in this godforsaken decade. And hopefully, Comedy Central will reallocate its resources into more deserving shows. But I will end this video on this note. I find it amusing that a TV network can't even stack up against a YouTube channel with freelance creators when it comes to quality and concept. Hell of a Boss blows Fairview out of the water. I should do a video about Hell of a Boss. I think I might, for reasons. So a big shout out to this video's sponsor, Keeps. Well, I'm getting older, not as energetic as I used to be, and I'm usually in bed by 10 and up by 6. I feel like it's only a matter of time before I switch my outfit to jean shorts, an Old Navy American flag t-shirt, white sneakers, and then socks that go right up to my kneecaps. Get used to it, guys. That is your future, and you can't change destiny. But there are some things you can change about getting older, like saving your hair. Many guys have to deal with hair loss. Like, did you know that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time that they're 35? Yeah, it's that common. And the best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. And that is where Keeps comes in. What is Keeps, you ask? Well, it's a subscription service that focuses on making it easier and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness, but doing so online. You got online doctor consultations with real licensed doctors. They will review your information and will then recommend a hair loss treatment plan for you, a plan that offers generic options of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss. That means that these treatments are legit and way more affordable. And with Keeps, your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. On top of that, communication is key when it comes to this kind of stuff. It can honestly be kind of intimidating at first, but don't worry. Your doctor is only a message away and can be accessed through online doctor messaging 24/7. Do you have any questions or concerns about your progress? Well, hit up your doctor online and also track your progress with Keeps' progress tracking tool. Once you get everything up and running with your Keeps treatment, you'll start to see results between 4 to 6 months. So, if you want to save the hair you have left, you better act on this fast. Keeps is legit one of the best services when it comes to fighting male pattern baldness. There's a reason why it has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and also why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. So, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your first order, go to keeps.com/Saberspark or click the link in the description down below. That is KEEPS.com/Saberspark. Go check it out today.